What if I told you that one of the most powerful ways to restore leg strength, especially if you've been feeling sluggish, weak, or unusually tired, doesn't come from a supplement or a workout routine, but straight from your kitchen? What would you picture? Recent studies now reveal something remarkable. A single food, when eaten at the right moment and paired correctly, can begin to reboot your neuromuscular performance in as little as 12 hours. Let's start with a striking discovery published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2023. By the very next morning, adults over 50 who consumed a specific nutrient-dense evening meal showed measurable improvements in both muscle protein, synthesis, and mitochondrial activity. These mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells, are essential for energy, recovery, and physical strength. And it's your legs, more than any other part of the body, that show the earliest signs of this decline as we age. This isn't just about appearance or mobility. It's about something deeper: independence, personal confidence, and your ability to stay active and capable as time goes on. When leg strength fades, everything changes. Climbing stairs becomes a chore, balance wavers, energy dwindles. And yet, so many of us chalk it up to aging. But here's the truth: the leading causes of muscle loss aren't rooted in age alone. More often, it's due to persistent cellular undernourishment, low-grade inflammation, and disrupted circadian rhythms. In other words, it's not your chronological age, it's your internal biology. That's why what you eat, when you eat, and how those nutrients interact with your nervous system and muscle fibers all matter more than most people realize. In today's episode, we'll dive into the science, both neurological and physiological, behind one simple, accessible food that could dramatically enhance your leg function when consumed with intention. You'll learn how just one overnight adjustment in your diet can begin recharging your neuromuscular system. How does this food restore mitochondrial efficiency, the core of your muscle's energy supply? What role does amino acid signaling play in boosting muscle density? And how does your circadian rhythm influence the results? You'll also walk away with a clear, step-by-step method to implement this immediately. This isn't hype, it's science. And if you have the right tools in hand, your body may bounce back faster than you ever thought possible. Let's get right to it. For decades, we've assumed that age-related muscle loss, what we call atrophy, was mostly caused by disuse or a drop in hormone levels. But emerging neuroscience is revealing a much more hopeful and, more importantly, actionable picture. Here's what researchers are now uncovering. What looks like lost muscle may not be gone. It may simply be disconnected. The studies show that the motor neurons linking your brain and spinal cord to your muscles, especially in your legs, begin to lose effectiveness as early as your 40s. Some muscles become harder to activate, not because they've vanished, but because the signal lines are fraying. When those signals fade, the muscles don't contract as they should. They're still present, but sitting idle. In a landmark study from the University of Calgary, scientists found that it wasn't the muscle structure itself that had failed, but the neuromuscular communication. In short, the muscle wasn't dead, it just wasn't online. Ever stood up and felt inexplicably wobbly? Or noticed your legs tiring faster despite no real change in your routine? That's not simply aging, it's a misfire in your body's internal wiring. The loss of coordination is less about getting older and more about losing signal clarity between nerves and muscle fibers. The encouraging part? You can restore that signal. And your spinal cord plays a starring role. Acting as the communication hub between your brain and limbs, it relies on a steady stream of nutrient support to maintain the clarity and speed of those muscle-activating messages. Picture your leg muscles as a team of skilled laborers, ready, capable, and waiting for instructions. Your nervous system? It's the foreman shouting directions through a megaphone. But when that megaphone's battery is drained, the message doesn't get through. Recharge the battery, though, and suddenly the entire crew is back to work, tools in hand, getting things done. One of the fastest ways to recharge that system is by targeting the neuromuscular junction, the precise meeting point between nerve and muscle. This is where the signal either fires or fizzles. With the right blend of nutrients, specific amino acids, B vitamins, and acetylcholine precursors, you can dramatically improve signal strength in just a matter of hours. The food we're focusing on delivers exactly that. It's not just high in protein, it's packed with the very nutrients your nervous system craves to rebuild those critical communication lines. So when you eat it, you're not just fueling your muscles, you're flipping the switch that turns them back on. Before you focus on building more muscle, there's a critical first step. Ask yourself if your nervous system is even activating the muscle you already have. In many cases, especially when it comes to leg weakness, the real issue isn't how much muscle you've got. It's whether the signals to use it are actually getting through. That's why in this section, we're diving into one of the most essential nutrients for restoring that connection. Leucine, an amino acid that acts like a molecular ignition switch for strength. But first, if this fresh lens is helping you see your body differently, you might consider subscribing. This channel exists to turn cutting-edge science into usable tools. Here's how it works. Right after you eat, your body goes searching for instructions, not just calories, but chemical messages that tell it what to do next. And one of the strongest signals it looks for? You guessed it, leucine. Leucine is an essential amino acid, which means your body can't make it on its own. You have to get it through food. But leucine isn't just another building block, it's a trigger. In scientific terms, it's called an anabolic signal. In everyday terms, it tells your body, now's the time to grow. Here's what the science says. Leucine activates a powerful cellular pathway known as mTOR, short for mammalian target of rapamycin, which acts like your body's internal control tower for muscle repair and growth. If mTOR is the switchboard, leucine is the finger that flips the switch. This mechanism holds up even in older adults. In fact, a 2011 study in the Journal of Nutrition found that a single meal high in leucine significantly boosted mTOR activity and muscle protein synthesis, even in aging bodies that normally resist these growth signals. That's huge because as we age, our muscles respond less efficiently to protein alone, but leucine cuts through that resistance. It's one of the few nutrients shown to reignite muscle growth within hours. Ever eat a high-protein meal and still feel weak in your legs? It may not be about the protein amount, but the leucine quality and timing. Unfortunately, many older adults unknowingly consume just enough protein to stop muscle breakdown, but not enough leucine to promote new growth. That's why both the timing and the source of your protein matter more than you think. The solution? Make sure your first substantial meal of the day includes a leucine-rich food. Top dietary sources include animal proteins, like eggs, beef, poultry, and especially whey protein. You only need about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine to flip that mTOR switch, which you can get from roughly 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. For a faster and more efficient option, whey protein isolate is hard to beat. It delivers leucine and other essential amino acids in just the right ratios. That's why it's becoming a go-to strategy, not just for athletes, but for health professionals working with aging adults to help restore muscle function quickly. But this is about more than just muscle. It's about reconnecting, literally. Leucine-rich protein doesn't just feed your muscles, it helps reestablish the line of communication between your nervous system and your muscle fibers. The faster that biochemical dialogue returns, the sooner your legs begin to feel steady, strong, and alive again. Up next, we'll turn our focus to acetylcholine, the key neurotransmitter that tells your muscles to move, and explore a specific food that restores it faster than most supplements ever could. If you found these insights helpful, giving the video a like goes a long way. It helps us get science-driven strength strategies into the hands of more people who truly need them, and it signals to the algorithm that this kind of content matters. Every time you decide to move, whether it's standing up, walking, or climbing stairs, your brain sends a signal. But here's the catch. That signal doesn't travel straight to your muscles. First, it's translated into a chemical messenger called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter responsible for neuromuscular transmission. In simple terms, it's how your brain says go and your muscles know what to do. Without enough acetylcholine, those muscles either respond sluggishly, fire incorrectly, or don't respond at all. And here's the thing, this issue grows with age. Research shows that both the production of acetylcholine and the sensitivity of its receptors decrease over time, especially in the motor neurons that control your legs. That's why even minor balance issues or delayed muscle reactions become more noticeable as you get older. But here's where the science gets really exciting. Choline, the nutrient your body uses to make acetylcholine, has been shown to rapidly restore these signals. A 2012 review published in Nutrients found that increasing dietary choline can improve acetylcholine output within just 6 to 12 hours, especially when your brain is calling for precise motor control. So, what's the best food source for this effect? Eggs, specifically the yolks. Just 2 whole eggs can deliver over 300 milligrams of choline, which your body then uses to rebuild the motor control network through renewed acetylcholine production. This isn't just general nutrition advice, it's a proven protocol. If you struggle with shaky balance, leg weakness, or delayed reaction time, try this simple morning habit. Eat 2 whole eggs about 30 minutes after waking, ideally paired with a leucine-rich protein like whey or cottage cheese. Why the timing? Because after sleep, your body's acetylcholine production is at its lowest, and morning is when motor neurons are most receptive to input, making it the perfect time to restock those resources. What you're doing is giving your nervous system the exact raw materials it needs to restore its command over your muscles. Ever notice that after a protein-packed breakfast, your steps feel more confident? That's not your imagination. It's your nervous system firing more accurately. Choline does more than just support muscle activity. It strengthens the entire communication line between your brain and legs. And if you're plant-based or don't eat eggs, you're not out of options. Quinoa, Brussels sprouts, and soybeans also offer choline. Still, egg yolks remain the gold standard in terms of bioavailability, meaning your body can absorb and use the choline more efficiently. And beyond movement, acetylcholine also plays a major role in memory, learning, and focus. So by restoring your acetylcholine levels, you're not just improving your strength and coordination, you're also enhancing your mental clarity, a true win-win for aging with strength and sharpness. In this next section, we'll explore a powerful but often overlooked link in the chain of leg strength: blood flow. Specifically, how circulation affects your mobility and how one particular food has shown such remarkable results that it's being studied as a natural therapy for both vascular dementia and performance fatigue. If your goal is to restore strength and mental clarity, now's the time to hit that subscribe button. Each part of this series builds on the last, giving you practical, science-backed tools you can start using right away in your daily life. Now picture this. You're trying to water a garden, but the hose is bent. It doesn't matter how rich the soil is or how much sun the plants get. Nothing thrives without flow. That's exactly what happens inside your muscles, especially in your legs as you age. The arteries and capillaries that supply your lower limbs begin to narrow or lose elasticity. And when blood flow becomes limited or sluggish, whether due to aging, inactivity, or underlying conditions, your muscles are starved of the oxygen, nutrients, and waste removal they need to perform. The outcome? Legs that feel heavy, slow, and tired. Even if you're eating well and staying active, impaired circulation can quietly chip away at your strength. That's where nitric oxide, or NO, comes in. It's a naturally occurring gas made by your endothelial cells, the lining of your blood vessels, that signals them to relax and widen, boosting circulation. And one of the best natural ways to enhance nitric oxide production? Beets. These root vegetables are rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, especially when consumed raw or as juice. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who drank beetroot juice experienced a noticeable increase in leg power just hours later. The improvements were most dramatic in fast-twitch muscle fibers, the ones responsible for speed, agility, and balance. These weren't small gains either. On walking tests, chair stands, and stair climbs, the results were measurable and meaningful, proof that improved circulation translates directly into improved performance. Here's how you can harness that effect. About 90 minutes before light activity, consume 1 to 2 medium beets or 250 to 300 milliliters of beetroot juice. That gives your body time to convert nitrates into nitric oxide and start dilating your blood vessels. Want to supercharge the benefits? Combine that with 20 minutes of gentle movement, like walking, stretching, or cycling. Physical activity amplifies nitric oxide production, especially when your body's already primed with dietary nitrates. Think of it like unkinking the hose while simultaneously turning up the water pressure. Beets have a fairly low glycemic load, and the performance benefits far outweigh any minor sugar spike when eaten before exercise. Still concerned about sugar? Pair them with a source of protein or fiber-rich greens to balance the effect. If this information has helped you rethink how you support your body, consider subscribing. We don't just scratch the surface. We dive deep into proven, evidence-based methods like this to give you clarity, confidence, and control over your health. And the best part? You can start today. In this next section, we're diving into one of the most overlooked yet powerful contributors to muscle loss: inflammation. Specifically, how one simple food group can help extinguish the low-burning internal fire that quietly erodes leg strength from within. You may not feel it directly, but it's often there. Persistent inflammation, humming away beneath the surface. Unlike acute inflammation, which happens after an injury and is easy to notice, chronic inflammation is quiet and widespread, and over time, it chips away at muscle function, especially in the legs. Research confirms this. Even low-grade long-term inflammation can disrupt your body's ability to regenerate muscle, build strength, and maintain coordination. A 2020 study published in the Journals of Gerontology linked elevated markers like C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, to decreased leg strength and muscle mass in older adults. And what's most surprising, these declines occurred even when participants appeared to be eating well and staying active. So what's happening inside your body when this silent sabotage occurs? Inflammation attacks the mitochondria, the energy generators that fuel every muscle contraction. It disrupts protein synthesis, increases oxidative stress, and interferes with the nerve signals that activate your muscle fibers. So even if the muscle is still there, the signal to use it weakens dramatically. Here's the unexpected solution. It's not in a bottle or supplement aisle, it's in your refrigerator. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard, and mustard greens are some of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory tools. These greens are nutrient-dense and rich in compounds known to suppress inflammation, including polyphenols, chlorophyll, magnesium, and natural nitrates. Together, these components support your body's ability to calm overactive immune responses. In particular, the polyphenol quercetin, abundant in kale and mustard greens, has been shown to block key inflammatory messengers like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Pharmacology found that daily intake of quercetin-rich foods can significantly reduce inflammation within just 2 to 4 weeks, especially when paired with light physical activity. Want to make this work for you? Add at least 1 cup of dark leafy greens to your first meal of the day. Why breakfast? Because it sets the tone for your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that controls everything from immune response to hormone balance. To help your body better absorb the fat-soluble nutrients in greens, like vitamin K and beta-carotene, pair them with healthy fats such as avocado or olive oil. A squeeze of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar can further boost digestion and nutrient uptake. Now, don't expect an instant transformation. These foods aren't like popping a painkiller, but within 10 to 14 days, you may notice less soreness, more energy, and a steadier sense of power in your legs. The shift is gradual, but meaningful. This is when food becomes more than fuel. It becomes a biological message that tells your immune system, "We're okay, you can stand down." That message over time can make all the difference. In this section, we're going to explore a factor most people overlook entirely: the timing of your meals and how it can either accelerate or hinder your muscle recovery and leg strength as you age. What you eat matters, of course, but when you eat, it might matter just as much, especially as the years go by. Every time you consume a protein-rich meal, your body initiates a biological process called muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. This process is how your body repairs damaged muscle fibers and builds new ones. In essence, it's your internal way of saying, "Let's grow." The challenge is that with age, your muscles become less responsive to these signals. This phenomenon is called anabolic resistance. That means your body might not fully use the protein you eat to rebuild muscle, even if your total intake is high. So what's the workaround? Research provides the answer. Spreading your protein intake more evenly throughout the day, starting with a protein-rich breakfast, can dramatically improve muscle retention and growth, especially in your legs and lower body. A 2014 study from the University of Texas found that people who divided their protein intake fairly evenly across 3 meals had 25% higher muscle protein synthesis rates than those who loaded most of their protein into dinner. Why? Because each meal acts as a separate trigger for growth. The signal stays stronger and more consistent. And if you pair your meals with some light movement, like walking or stretching, the effect gets even better, particularly in older adults. That's because your muscles are most receptive to nutrition during the so-called anabolic window, which lasts 30 to 60 minutes after physical activity. It's the perfect time to supply them with what they need to rebuild. So here's a simple plan. Start your day with at least 30 grams of high-quality protein. This might look like Greek yogurt with hemp seeds and berries, or 3 eggs with sautéed spinach and lentils. Next, after even light activity like a short walk or some resistance bands, have a follow-up meal or snack that includes both protein and complex carbs. Think a smoothie with protein powder and banana, or quinoa with beans and olive oil. And finally, avoid saving all your protein for the evening. Your muscles can only process about 30 to 40 grams at once. Anything beyond that is either stored or burned as energy. Distribute it throughout your day for the best results. When you time your meals properly, you're not just feeding your muscles. You're sending them a powerful message to stay strong, engaged, and active. And that's the key insight here. Muscle isn't just for movement. It's a vital organ that fuels your metabolism, protects your independence, and keeps your energy systems running strong. Let's bring everything full circle, from the powerful role nitric oxide plays in circulation to the critical impact of nutrient timing, and wrap it all into a clear, energizing summary. Plus, I'll leave you with one simple step you can take right now to start transforming your leg strength, vitality, and overall well-being. If you've made it this far, you've already completed the most important step, gaining knowledge. You now understand that restoring leg strength, even within just 12 hours, is not only possible, but physiologically grounded in science. The secret lies in working with your body's natural systems, not against them. Let's quickly revisit the 6 core, evidence-based insights we've covered. First, nitric oxide, a molecule essential for expanding blood vessels, drives circulation to your legs, helping deliver oxygen, nutrients, and energy exactly where it's needed. Without it, muscles simply can't function at their best. Beetroot, especially in concentrated or juice form, is one of the most effective natural boosters of nitric oxide. It has been shown to dramatically increase leg blood flow and performance within hours. The endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, plays a key role in this process. Foods high in dietary nitrates, antioxidants, and polyphenols can literally reset this system and improve muscular oxygenation. Fast-twitch muscle fibers in your legs, critical for balance and quick movement, are vulnerable to aging, but they're also incredibly responsive to better blood flow, nutrient delivery, and neural stimulation. That's where food, the gut, and the nervous system converge. What you eat doesn't just affect digestion, it rewires the relationship between your brain and muscles. Beetroot's positive influence on your gut microbiome helps enhance this signaling connection. And finally, when you align your protein intake with light physical activity, you amplify your body's muscle-building response and prevent the slowdown caused by anabolic resistance. The common thread through all of this? Your body is hardwired to heal, grow, and adapt. All it needs is the right information at the right time and the right amount. So here's a small, clear step you can take next. Tomorrow morning, start your day with a smoothie containing beetroot. Add a protein source like Greek yogurt or a plant-based alternative. Then take a 15-minute walk. This primes your circulation, activates nitric oxide production, and jumpstarts neuromuscular communication. Within 30 to 60 minutes, follow that with a protein-rich breakfast. Because the science is unmistakable, even small changes, like a targeted nutrient, a brief walk, or a well-timed meal, can lead to measurable improvements in how you move, feel, and function, especially in your legs, which reflects so much about your health. But this isn't just about leg strength, it's about momentum. As you repeat these habits daily, you'll begin to notice something deeper. Not just stronger legs, but a stronger you. More balanced, more energized, more confident, more alive. So try this approach and see how your body responds. If this video shifted your perspective and gave you a new sense of possibility, I'd be honored if you gave it a like, left a comment, or subscribe to the channel. This community is here to help you not just survive, but thrive, with practical, research-backed tools for your body, your brain, and your life. Thank you for watching, and I truly hope to see you again soon.